Hey guys, and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about angles and hooks. So this is the final piece of the ad creative. This is where you get to put your creative ideas together from the previous lessons, whether it's your sub avatars, your desires, your benefits, your product overview. You get to basically put all that together, and now you get to craft angles and hooks based on those. And this is what your customers get to see. And if everything stands out to that sub avatar, then they will then proceed to go into your website and then making a purchase. So, what exactly is an angle and a hook? So, I have an example from True Classic. So, this is an angle. Angle is, let's go back. Let me see if I can highlight the highlighter. So, angle is it's just the overall theme of the ad. And based on this hook that they're using right here, which this T makes you look more confident, I'm assuming their angle would be somewhere around making you confident. All right, so this is the angle is just basically the overall theme of the ad. Think about it that way. And then your hook is this guy. This is what catches people's eyes. Your hook and your creative. Whether it's lifestyle UGC or just a product focus ad, whatever it may be for you. But the hook and the overall creative is what catches people. And you need the angle to craft the hook. And once you have an angle and a hook that works well, typically your body copy would just reinforce the hook. That's your story. But you need people to first get hooked. That's the first step. If they don't get hooked, your story won't matter and your offer won't matter, because that means they just scroll through the newsfeed. And this ad or this creative never caught their attention. That's why angles and hooks are so important. But you need all the other stuff like your sub avatars, their desires, their benefits of your product, and all that other stuff to start crafting angles and hooks for those particular sub avatars. I'll show you how to do that so that way you know how to craft angles and hooks for your product. Let's look at this one right here. So this one is a lifestyle UGC, and the angle based on the hook, it says the softest shirt you'll ever wear. So their angle might be around the lines of the softness of the shirt. All right. And then their hook is the softest shirt you'll ever wear. So that's the hook. All right. So angle is just kind of the overall theme of the creative. Then the hook is always going to be this guy right here or this guy right here. It's what's going to grab people's attention. And then typically when you have, like as I mentioned, the angle, once you have your hook and your angle, your body copy is going to reinforce that angle that you're talking about, whether it's the softness or whether it's about more confidence, whatever it may be. But it's just going to reinforce on that. All right. So I have a prompt that you can copy and paste into ChatGPT. So that way you can start finding hooks and angles for your product. All right, let's put this in action. So let me X out of this one right here. And let's copy this prompt. And let's go into ChatGPT. All right. So we're in ChatGPT. And I'm using the dog harness product overview because we did the product overview on the dog harness. So if you haven't done the product overview document, you need to do that one first. So what is the product overview document? It's this guy right here. We filled it out in further lessons back. It just states the basics, the product name, your product in action, and then some features and some benefits, and then desires, and then some USPs. So if you haven't filled out this document, you need to fill out this document. So go ahead or go back all the way to the product overview document section and look at that lesson there, and then start filling it out for your product. That way you can identify your benefits and your desires and your USPs for your product. Next, what you're going to need to do is you need your avatar document. We just filled this one out in the previous lesson. So we had 3 to 5 sub avatars. So your sub avatar for this example would be the safety focused owner, their desire, they want a harness their dog cannot escape from. And then product experience, they tried cheap harnesses with weak buckles or loose straps and their dog slipped out. And then emotion, they feel scared and stressed because they worry their dog could run off or get hurt. And then behavior, they constantly tighten the harness, double check buckles, and then angle. And same exact with this one, sub avatar 2, sub avatar 3, sub avatar 4. It's just basically highlighting their desires, product experience, emotions, behaviors, and then an angle. All right, so you need this document also. So your sub avatar document. So just basically just copy whatever ChatGPT prompted you for your sub avatars, and then just paste it into a Word document. That way, when you're in the project section, if you haven't watched the project section on how to create individual projects for your product, so like for this one, we created a dog project so that way we can upload files specifically for that. And that way ChatGPT can start to familiarize itself based on the files that we uploaded. All right, so what we have is the product overview document. And then we have the avatar document that we filled out in the previous lesson, which is your sub avatars. And then we just have an image of the product. I took an image from, I think it's this image right here. I just copied it and then just pasted it into here. The more information that you feed ChatGPT, the better it's able to respond. So don't think of, oh, this is the hard structure of the project files. You want to feed it a good amount of information so that way it can start to give you better responses. And the more you start to communicate with ChatGPT, the better it starts to understand you. All right. So now that we have those project files, we can go back to this guy right here. And then let's copy it. And then let's go back to ChatGPT. And then let's paste it. Let's see what it gives us. So again, it noted our uploaded docs, our product overview document, and then our avatar document. And then it highlighted our main avatar, dog owners who want a safe, easier, and more comfortable way to walk their dogs. So it highlighted our main avatar. And then it highlighted your sub avatars. And now it's going to start pulling in angles and hooks. So for sub avatar number 1, the safety focused owner, their desire is they want their dog to be safe and not escape the harness. That's their desire. product experience, emotion, behaviors, listen that. They double check straps, avoid busy areas, and stay tense on walks. Angle. So it's giving you one angle, and then it's giving you 3 hooks based on that angle. Remember, angle is just a theme of the creative. So the angle is escape-proof buckle that keeps your dog safe every single walk. All right, and then the hook, you could use this in your creative. Stop worrying about your dog slipping out. This buckle doesn't quit. Then walk stress-free, knowing your dog cannot escape. If safety is the priority, this is the harness you choose. Let's look at another one. So this one would be for the perfect fit owner. So they want their dog to feel comfortable with a perfect non-slipping fit. That's their desire. And then let's look at the angle that it gave us. Adjustable straps that create the perfect fit for any dog shape. So that's the angle that it's choosing. And then hooks, finally a harness that actually fits your dog in the right way. That's a hook that you can use in your creative. No more slipping, rubbing, or guessing the right size. A perfect fit means a happier dog and an easier walk. All right. This is sub-avatar 2. Let's look at sub-avatar 3. So the third sub-avatar is the pulling problem owner. So they want their dog to stop pulling so walks feel calm and controlled. All right, so this is the product experience, emotion, behavior, and then the angle. And it pulled that front D-ring design that reduces pulling and gives instant control. Now, how did it know that? Remember, it pulled it from the product overview. So the more information that you feed it, the better it's able to respond to you. So it was able to highlight one of our unique selling propositions, which is that front D-ring. Let's go back to here. That's this guy right here. Heavy duty unbreakable D-ring. So for this sub-avatar, the pulling problem owner, the angle that it wants to focus on is that front D-ring design. And then the hooks, walks stop feeling like a battle when the pulling goes away, get instant control even with strong pullers. All right. Now, sub-avatar 4, which is the comfort first owner. So they want their dog to feel comfortable with no choking or rubbing. The angle that it wants to use, soft, lightweight, breathable material for all-day comfort. And then the hooks, no rubbing, no choking, just comfort every walk. A harness your dog actually enjoys wearing. And then no rubbing, no choking, just comfort every walk. A harness your dog actually enjoys wearing. Then lightweight design that feels better than a regular collar. It's going to pull all the sub-avatars. It's going to keep giving you angles and hooks. Now, what you want to do is you want to start off basically with just 2 sub-avatars. Once you have 2 sub-avatars, you can then ask ChatGPT, let's just say I liked, where's the D-ring one? All right, let's just say sub-avatar 3. And let's just say sub-avatar 4. Let's just say 3 and 4. All right. So let's ask it, based on sub-avatar 3 and 4 only, give me 3 angles for each and 3 hooks for each angle. All right. Let's see what it does. All right, good. So you want to pick two sub avatars. Start with those two. So whatever you think the best sub avatar is for your product, start with two. And then you can start getting more and more sub avatars as you start finding winning sub avatars and winning angles for those sub avatars. So let's look at sub avatar 3. So that's the pulling problem owner. Angle 1, instant control with the front D-ring. All right, and then hook, clip to the front and watch the pulling stop. One small change makes walks easy again. Take control without yanking or yelling. Angle 2 for this sub avatar would be walk stop feeling like a battle. Okay, and the focus was emotional relief. Hooks, no more feeling dragged down the street. Turn stressful walks into calm ones. Feeling control again. Angle 3 for that sub avatar, train good, walking behavior without extra tools. All right, this one's good. Sub avatar 4 was the comfort first owner. And hooks, a harness your dog actually enjoys wearing. No rubbing, no choking, just comfort. Angle 2 would be choke-free design that protects your dog's neck. Let your dog breathe and walk freely. Stop the choking and coughing from tight collars. Again, it just gave us 3 different angles, and for each angle, it gave us 3 different hooks. So what you want to do is, let's go all the way to the top, scroll down. So when it comes to testing, let's say I'm testing sub avatar 3, and we're using the 322 method, which helps you find the best hook from the best angle based on that sub avatar. So whenever you're running the 322 method, you want to basically, let's just say for example, so we have angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3. So what you would do is you would choose the best hook for angle 1. Let's just say it was this one. So this is going to be your first version of that angle. All right, so or your first hook of that angle. So this would be your first creative, talking about this hook based on this angle. Your next creative is going to be, let's just say we like this one. You would take that one. And then for your third creative, you would take, let's just say this one for your hook. All right. So we have 3 different creative based on these 3 different hooks from 3 different angles. And what we're doing here is we're speeding up the process to try to find what's the best winning angle for this product. Maybe it's instant control with front D-ring. Maybe that's the best angle. If that ends up being the best angle and one of these hooks stands out and there's a high click-through rate to the site, then we can start crafting more hooks towards this angle. So you're just trying to find what hooks work for whatever angle you're testing. But since there's so many angles, if you were to do 3 creatives at this angle, 3 creatives, it'd take a lot more. So you're doing more so an optimized approach of the different angles, and you're finding the best and basically fastest winning angle. Once you have your winning angle, you can start to double on more ads. And let's just say this one worked for us. This angle is doing very well for us. we can then move it on to user-generated content. And then we can make videos talking about how you can have instant control with the front D-ring. Maybe a video of someone walking the dog, and the D-ring is basically just controlling the dog, and it's just basically you're not yanking on the dog, and it's just an overwhelming, basically it's just an easier walk for you whenever you're walking the dog. So again, we're just trying to find a winning angle and a winning hook. Whenever you have a winning angle and a winning hook, you can then start to double down on more ads for that particular angle. All right. So that's the 3-2-2 method. Is you're going to highlight one hook from each angle. One hook from this angle, one hook from this angle, to find your winning creative. Once you have a winning creative, you can be like, this angle worked for me. Good. Let's try to find more hooks for that angle. That's ultimately what you're doing, is you're trying to find out what stands out in the marketplace. You want to test fast and you want to optimize even faster, because things change just based on what the market already knows. All right, so you want to test these hooks out. So they look good over here in ChatGPT, but when you test them out into the real world, whether it's Facebook or Google, it's a whole different thing over there. It's maybe this hook won't work. Maybe this hook might work. Who knows? But once you test it, you can have a definite answer on whether that angle works or not. All right, so we got that out the way. So that's the 3-2-2 method. And then whenever you have your hooks, let's just say we were choosing this hook right here. Your other 2 and 2, your headline and your body text, it's going to reinforce this hook. So you're going to use ChatGPT to help you basically get body copy and a headline for this particular hook. Because you want the overall theme or the angle to be congruent with each other. You don't want your headline to be talking about something else and your body copy talking about something else and then your hook talking about something else. You want it to all match. But this is what stops people first, is your hook. And then once they read your hook, that's when they can then scroll up a little bit and then start reading your body copy. And then they look at your headline, and if it makes sense, they will then click onto your site. We'll have later lessons talking about body copy and headline. All right, so go ahead and do this for your product to find your angles and hooks. That way you can start testing your angles and hooks and see what works well in your marketplace. All right, so make sure you copy this. Make sure that you also have your sub-avatar document and your product overview document. If you don't have these two, you need to go back to the previous lessons and fill those out. That way you can have ChatGPT do the heavy lifting for you. All right, so that's it for this lesson on how to create angles and hooks. So go ahead, create some angles, create some hooks for your product, and start testing using the 3-2-2 method. And I'll see you in the next one.